The key in the lock. That's all it takes. Before the door opens, before you step inside, before you've said a single word or made a single movement, the key in the lock is enough. And on the other side of that door, something extraordinary is already underway. Not just excitement, not just a Pavlovian response to a familiar sound. Something far more complex, far more alive, far more profound than a learned behavior. Scientists have spent years trying to understand exactly what happens inside a dog's brain in the seconds and minutes surrounding an owner's return. And what they found inside the neurons and neurochemicals and ancient wiring of your dog's mind is one of the most moving things that modern neuroscience has ever uncovered. This is what's happening inside him, right now, every single day, the moment you come home. It starts before you arrive. Your dog knows you're coming before you get there. Not in a vague or approximate way, in a specific, neurologically real way that has been documented in studies and replicated across dozens of research environments. There are two mechanisms. The first is olfactory. Your scent, which has been present throughout your home since you left, has been gradually fading throughout the day. Your dog's brain, equipped with an olfactory processing system proportionally 40 times larger than the human equivalent, has been tracking this fade. As your scent diminishes to a certain threshold, it functions as a kind of scent clock. The fading tells him, without language, without numbers, without any concept of hours, she is getting closer to coming back. The second mechanism is temporal. Research from multiple institutions, including a notable long-term study by biologist Rupert Sheldrake, has documented that many dogs begin showing anticipatory behavior, increased alertness, movement toward the entrance of the home, a particular quality of readiness, in the window of time that corresponds to their owner's typical return. Not randomly, in that specific window, your dog is already preparing for you, already oriented toward the door, already in the early stages of what is about to happen in his brain. Not because he heard your car, not because he saw the light change, because something in him, built from years of loving you and losing you and getting you back again every single day, knows that it's almost time. And then comes the sound, your key, your footstep, the particular way the gate sounds when it's you and not someone else. In that moment, something fires in your dog's brain that researchers have been working to understand for decades. It is not a simple recognition response. It is not the same thing that happens when he hears any familiar sound. It is something specific to you, and it has been measured, and the measurements are extraordinary. A team at Emory University used functional MRI imaging, a technique adapted for dogs who were trained to lie completely still inside the scanner, to measure brain activity in response to different sensory stimuli. They exposed dogs to 5 different scents: an unfamiliar human, a familiar human who was not their owner, a familiar dog themselves, and their owner. When the owner's scent was introduced, one region of the brain showed activation that was significantly greater than the response to any other stimulus. The caudate nucleus, the reward center, the same region that activates in human brains in response to things we love, things we desire, things that make us feel the specific warm anticipation of something we have been looking forward to. Your dog's brain, at the neurochemical level, experiences the signal that you are about to arrive the way you might experience the smell of something you love, the anticipation of something specifically, deeply good. The door opens, and now something happens that, if you could watch it in real time on a brain scan, would stop your breath. The arrival of the owner, the full sensory experience of you, your scent, your face, your voice, your movement, triggers a cascade. Not a single response, but a wave of neurochemical activity that researchers have described, carefully and scientifically and with all the caution that scientific language requires, as one of the most robust positive emotional responses documented in any non-human animal. Dopamine, the neurochemical of anticipation and reward, the one that fires when something you've been looking forward to finally arrives. Your dog's brain releases it when you walk through the door. The waiting was building toward this. Every hour of the day was moving toward this moment. And now it's here, and his brain knows it. And the dopamine that floods his system is not metaphorical. It is real. It is measurable. It is the biological signature of joy. Oxytocin, the neurochemical of bonding and love. The one that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn, that fills two people in the early days of falling in love, that creates the physiological experience of deep connection between two beings. Research published in Science found that when dogs and their owners make eye contact, both species show a significant increase in oxytocin. Both. Simultaneously. The same chemical. The same moment. The loop of bonding running in both directions at once. Serotonin. The neurochemical of well-being and security. The one that tells a nervous system that everything is okay, that the world is stable, that the baseline is good. When you walk through the door, his serotonin rises. The world, which was missing its most important element, is complete again. 3 neurochemicals firing together in the 5 seconds after the door opens. He is not just happy to see you. He is, in the most literal neurological sense, experiencing a flood of the same chemicals that humans associate with love, joy, and the relief of having someone important come back. Now watch what he does with his body. The jumping, the spinning, the tail moving at a speed that seems physically impossible for a single appendage. The small sounds he makes, not quite barking, something more urgent and personal than barking. The way he can't seem to decide whether to be closer to you or to move, and ends up doing both at once in fast, chaotic orbits. This is not disobedience. This is not excess energy that needs to be trained away. This is a body trying to physically express a neurological event that has no adequate behavioral outlet. He is so full of something, the cocktail of relief and joy and dopamine and oxytocin, and the specific gladness of you being back, that his body simply cannot contain it in stillness. Researchers studying return greeting behavior in dogs have found that the intensity of the greeting is correlated not just with time apart, but with attachment quality. The dogs who greet most intensely are not the most anxious dogs or the most poorly trained dogs. They are, consistently, the dogs with the strongest, most secure attachments to their owners. He greets you that way because of what you mean to him, not despite the bond, because of it. And then, a few minutes later, something shifts. The initial wave settles. He finds you on the couch or in the kitchen or wherever you land when you come home, and he comes to you. And what happens next is quieter, but in some ways more extraordinary. He leans against you, or rests his head in your lap, or simply lies down close enough that your warmth reaches him. And his breathing, which was fast and excited just minutes ago, begins to slow and deepen and synchronize, gradually with yours. Research on physiological synchrony between dogs and their owners has found that this synchronization is real and measurable. Heart rate, breathing rate, and even cortisol levels begin to converge when bonded dogs and owners are in close, calm proximity. Their nervous systems are not just near each other, they are talking to each other, regulating each other, settling each other into the particular state that both bodies recognize as home. He is not just calming down from excitement, he is arriving somewhere. A specific neurological state that his body only reaches when you are there. When the room has you in it, and the chemicals are right, and the world is in the configuration his nervous system has come to associate with safety, with love, with the baseline that everything else gets measured against. He is home, because you are there. And his brain, in the most literal and scientific sense, knows the difference. There's one more thing I want to tell you about what happens in his brain when he sees you. Recognition. The specific, extraordinary, deeply personal recognition of you. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest found, using EEG brain imaging, that dogs showed differentiated neural responses to their owner's face versus the faces of strangers and familiar humans. The owner's face produces a specific pattern of brain activity, associated with emotional memory, social bonding, and what researchers describe as motivationally relevant recognition, that no other face produces. Your face to your dog is neurologically in a category of its own. It is not just familiar, it is important in a way that no other face is important. It is encoded in his brain with a significance that has accumulated over every day of his life with you. Every morning you woke up together. Every evening you sat together. Every moment your face was the face that meant everything was okay. When the door opens and your face appears and his brain fires in that specific way, that is years of loving you made visible in neural activity. That is every ordinary day you shared together, stored and accessed and re-experienced in the moment of reunion. He doesn't just see you, he recognizes you, in the deepest, oldest, most irreducible sense of that word. His brain knows your face the way it knows nothing else. So, this is what happens inside your dog when you come home after a long day. Before you arrive, he is already orienting toward you, guided by the fading of your scent and the shifting of the day. When your key sounds in the lock, his caudate nucleus fires. When the door opens, dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin release in a cascade that his body can barely contain. His greeting is not excess. It is a physical expression of a neurological event for which no calmer behavior would be adequate. And when the wave settles, he finds you and his nervous system begins to synchronize with yours, and both of you arrive at something that neither of you has a word for, but that every study and every scan and every measurement that science has managed to take points toward the same place. He loves you, not loosely, not approximately, not as a category. Specifically and completely, and with the full force of a nervous system that has spent every day with you building toward that moment when the door opens and you come back. The key in the lock, that's all it takes. And on the other side of the door, in the brain of the animal who is waiting for you, something extraordinary has already begun. Does your dog go crazy the moment you come home? Tell me in the comments exactly what he does. I read every single one. And if you want to understand what your dog is actually doing in all those quiet hours while you're away, the 8 private things he does that nobody sees, that video is right here.